Good afternoon. I wanted to take a moment of your time today to go over the Creative Cloud app interface. And this is for folks who have just downloaded the software. Maybe you've been using Creative Cloud software for a while and you know of this window that opens up occasionally and you don't really know what it's for. This video is for you. So when you first download, and we're going to zoom in so we can see everything here. When you first download Creative Cloud, it actually downloads the Creative Cloud app, and it's going to launch and ask you to sign in. And you're going to sign in with whatever credentials that you use to purchase the software, or if you're getting the software for free through a university or through a company or something like that. You're going to log in with whatever credentials that you have been instructed to log in with. Then it will launch. It may launch a browser. It's been a minute since I have actually set up a new machine, but you're going to have to go through this guy to log in. Now there are some instances where you'll launch like Acrobat for the first time and you're not logged in, and it will prompt you to log into the Creative Cloud through the app. And it's basically doing the same thing. But there is this Creative Cloud app that exists on your machine, and this is what it looks like on a Mac. I can't say that I know what it looks like on a PC, but I would assume that it is somewhat similar. And once you've logged in, it's going to have a screen just like this. And right now we're on an All Apps tab. And before we get into what this tab is and what this tab is showing us, let's go through some of the icons up at the top. So I'm going to start to the right and work my way over to the left. In the upper right hand corner, you're going to have your profile picture, or maybe it's just a blue or red or some color bubble up here. But this is access to your account, your Adobe account. And if you were to click on Adobe account right here, it would allow you to sign in. It would open up your browser and you go to the Adobe website, and you'd be able to view your subscription and update billing information or update personal information, your email, your phone number, those things like that. You can also sign out here as well. The next little icon over here is Adobe Cloud. So that's just like, or Cloud Activity, that's just like any other cloud-based platform. Adobe has theirs as well. Next we have notifications. So any notifications that Adobe pushes out will come into here. You have help, you have preferences, and then you have a shortcut to your fonts. And we'll talk about fonts a little bit more later. If we come all the way over to the left, we have our apps panel, which we're on right now. Next, we have your work, and this is all the work that you've uploaded to your libraries or to the Adobe Cloud. So this would be available if I'm working at home on this account, and then I went to the office and I logged in on an office machine with my credentials, then I'd have access to these files. To be completely honest, this is not a feature that I use very often, so it's going to look different based on how you use the library function within Creative Cloud. Lastly, we have Discover, and this is your portal into the learning and inspiration community that Adobe supports. And it's a wonderful area for resources to learn the software, to be inspired by other people's work, to watch tutorials, to watch live streams, anything like that. And scroll down and you can see some of the stuff that is on there. We'll talk about Behance in a little bit, and you can view some of the more recent and most popular work that's on Behance. And like I said, watch some live streams and then also get into some tutorials and things of that nature. You can also look through, the different programs. So Premiere Pro, which I'm getting into, I may need to go in and ask the community a question. So that's what the Discover tab is. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back over to the apps, and this is what's going to open up. And currently it's showing me all the apps I personally have installed on my machine right now. And then below you'll see available in your subscription. So when you first launch this, if you have no software installed on your machine, you'll see all the software that's available to you. So all the software I have installed, plus all of this software in this gridded pattern, and you can go through and install one by one by one. But these are the other desktop software that is available to me to download. I've just chosen not to have them on my computer. It is really nice. You can pick and choose what you want to have on there. You don't have to download everything. Next, we have applications that are available on the mobile platform, so on your phone or your tablet. You can get more information by clicking on these. So if you click on one, you get an overview. You see the compatibility. This is only compatible on iOS, so you can download it probably on the iPad or iPhone. So you just have to check and make sure you know what the compatibility or compatible device is, and then you can add that to your mobile creative studio. And there's quite a few on here that are available, and I think I counted something like 22. So there's 22 mobile apps that are available to you to use as part of your subscription. And then finally, we have web-based platforms and resources. So here we have the Adobe Fonts, which we'll talk about a little bit more. Adobe has their own stock site for stock images, photographs, mock-ups, things of that nature. Behance, and we'll talk about Behance a little bit more. The portfolio to create your own website, and a few others. If we go back up and we talk about Behance a little bit, I would encourage you, if you're a young designer, or even if you're a seasoned designer and you don't have a Behance page quite yet, to consider doing it. It's a really simple way to get your work out there in the creative community, to get creative feedback. And my students used Behance to showcase their work, and then used Adobe Portfolio, and Adobe Portfolio pulled their work directly from Behance and put it into a website that they could then customize from the template that Adobe provides. So it's all integrated. So if you just want a free platform for right now for showcasing your work, you don't even have to subscribe to Creative Cloud. You just have to go to Behance and open up a Adobe account with them, and then you have the ability to post your work, to post parts of your resume if you wish, what you're looking for, your skill set, things of that nature. So it's a really great platform. It's not just a platform for designers. It's a platform for illustrators, photographers, motion, videographers, those in web design, UI, and UX design. If you're a creative, you are most likely in some way represented on Behance. So I would encourage you to at least look into Behance. Like I said, even if you're not a Creative Cloud subscriber, you can get onto Behance as a free service. We look on the left-hand side with all the links over here, you'll see your updates. So one of the really nice things about a Creative Cloud subscription is, yes, you pay a certain amount over every month, or you can pay annually. So as a student, it is $19 a month or $240 annually. The $20 a month for students and educators is a promotional price for your first year. And then after that, it goes up to $30 a month. So it's $360 a year. But it's a huge savings over what the professional price is. When you pay for the subscription model, Adobe's going to push out updates to the software, not just security updates, but functional updates to the software. If we look at Illustrator, which was updated about 2 weeks ago, it just includes some stability-related fixes for Illustrator. But if we come down to InDesign, which was also updated a little over 2 weeks ago, it introduces a new feature, Share for Review, for collaboration functionality, as well as automatic activation of missing Adobe fonts, and also stability enhancements. So they're constantly creating new features for us. They're listening to the community, the Adobe community, and seeing what the Adobe community wants, and they'll push out an update. If there's a problem with their software, they are going to fix their software, and they're going to push out an update. So it's very important as owners of this to take advantage of that and keep your software up to date. My advice to you is keep your software updated. You always want to be working on the latest stuff. So anyway, moving on, categories. You can actually look at software based off of different categories. So if I was interested in doing something with their new AR applications, I could look in here and see which software I could install. This arrow app is really cool. I played around with it at the Adobe Max conference last year, and it's a really neat piece of software. If you're into AR at all, I'd encourage you to check that out. But you do have to be an iOS user. They do have beta apps that you can try, and this is probably kind of one of the other neat things about being a subscriber. You can install beta software and beta test the software. So if we come down to our resource links down here, we'll see that there's a shortcut for stock, Behance, which we spoke about. There's a quick link to tutorials, and also to the support community of Adobe. And then there's this manage fonts, and I'm actually going to zoom back out to our main window here. And if we click Manage Fonts, it's going to bring up all the fonts that we have installed right now from Adobe Fonts, all the active fonts. I've actually really enjoyed this feature of my subscription because it gives me access to a library of typefaces that I can use. So these are all the ones I have activated right now, and it shows a preview over here on the right. So if I were to click on Bold Italic Acumen Pro Condensed, I should get a preview over here of that typeface. So if there's not one that I have on my computer that I want to use for the project, I can always go and just click this button that says Browse More Fonts. And what this is going to do is it's going to open up your web browser, and it possibly may ask you to log in, and it will take you to Adobe Fonts and where you can find additional typefaces and fonts to download. So I have some letter forms already in here, and this is from when I was trying to find a font that would match a all uppercase typeface that I use with my brand, and I needed to find something that had an upper lower, but I wanted it to match close enough with that other typeface. So I had a few letters I could look at to see if the characteristics of the typefaces were similar enough to use. So I just did these letter forms. This interface, the Adobe Fonts interface, has tags. So Adobe has gone through and tagged their fonts. I don't usually use tags, to be completely honest. I'd much rather go into the classifications where if we zoom in here, we can see, I can look for a sans serif, a serif, or a slab serif. The more traditional classifications, I much prefer this, and then I prefer picking one or two properties that I'm really looking at. So to give you an example, if I'm looking for a sans serif, I would select sans serif, and then let's say I'm looking for a thick or a heavyweight typeface, and then with something that has like a minimum X height, and then I can come out and see the typefaces that are available, and I can start looking at what's available and looking at these letter forms to kind of see what I like and what I don't like. And I can go through, but I'm just gonna click through, and maybe I'm working on something that has a Q, a pretty cool Q, and I've looked at this Dunbar font before because I really like the tail of the Q. I really like how that design doesn't come down below the baseline in the capital Q. So I've been looking at that one, but I'm going to check, maybe I'm going to jump a page to page 5 to see if there's anything else that really kind of catches my eye that I want to use. This one's kind of neat with that tail of the Q. The Q is just a really interesting letter form, and I won't say a challenge, but you think that there's only one way to draw a Q, and here we are looking at several different ways that type designers have solved that letter. So if we come back, I think it was probably page 3, and there's Dunbar. So I'm going to go ahead and click View Family, and this is going to show me all the different weights of Dunbar. So I was looking at the heaviest weight that it has, which is going to be somewhere down here, and we can see that they have Dunbar low hairline all the way up to bold. And then they also have Dunbar tall. So they have two different typefaces here, or two different styles of the typeface within the same family. And then you have Dunbar text, which is something else. So this is Activate Fonts. So let's turn on Dunbar low. So we're going to come up to Activate Fonts, and you'll see a switch right next to Dunbar Low. I'm just going to check that. Down in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see that it's activated. Creative Cloud 14 fonts were activated. And then if we come back to Creative Cloud, right up top here is Dunbar Low. And if we had any other Adobe app open right at the moment, so if we had Illustrator, InDesign, or Photoshop open, Dunbar Low would be available for us to use at this immediate time. So that's a really cool feature of the Creative Cloud suite of software, and that you can access it right here in the Creative Cloud app without having to go and remember fonts.adobe.com. Not that that's a hard URL, but we can access it through a desktop app that is on our computer. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content you're seeing, think about subscribing. And when you subscribe, hit that little notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.